again. I mean, he just finds new and creative ways to just beat down Toronto every night. And your thoughts on the game you saw and the ending?
Well, the game I saw, you give Toronto a lot of credit for battling and not giving up. Kyle Lowry had a really, really good game. And Anunoby showed up and he produced, dropping in 18 points. DeMar DeRozan was nowhere to be found. That's why ultimately Dwayne Casey elected to bench him and go with that second unit. Some of those subs that came in there and produced heavily, but ultimately they had to succumb to the greatness of LeBron James. And you're just running out of superlatives to really describe what this man is doing. He's the greatest player in the world. We consistently say that. But you know what? There were times in the past where you questioned his quote-unquote clutch gene. That has now been eradicated. Then he shows up tonight and drives, from the left towards the basket, but then fades about 15 feet away and banks in a game winner at the buzzer. You just can't say enough about him. He's elevated his level of greatness to another level. You can look at the fact that it's against the Toronto Raptors, a franchise whose numbers he's had for quite a long time. But greatness is greatness, and we've been witnessing it from him throughout this postseason. And tonight was just the latest example. Another sensational performance, another sensational ending from the game's most sensational player. It's really that simple.
LeBron, 38 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds in this one. And I want to credit Toronto because they got down 17, they kept fighting, and yet in the end, what do they have? They got nothing.
Nothing. They have nothing because they always end up with nothing when they go up against LeBron James. That's why I picked the Cleveland Cavaliers to win this series. I think Toronto is the better team collectively. They clearly had a better regular season. But when you talked about them going up against the Cleveland Cavaliers in a best-of-7 series, the question you had to ask yourself is, what are they going to be able to do with LeBron James? And the answer is nothing. They have no answer. They put on guys. He's either too big, too strong, too fast, a combination of it all. He plays with his back to the basket. He plays face in the basket. He goes in attack mode. He gets a little bit passive. He gets others involved. He refuses to 1 minute, then he refuses to get others involved and just takes over whenever he wants. Against the Toronto Raptors, I don't think that it's too overstating when you say, hey, he has their number. He has a psychological effect on them. He dropped 40-plus in a couple of games against the Indiana Pacers. Every single game was competitive. But against Toronto, he blew them out the other night because when he gets going, he affects them psychologically. Tonight, they fought valiantly because Coach Dwayne Casey did something different. He took his $138 million man in DeMar DeRozan, the starter team, averaging 27 a game for them, and benched him because he wasn't getting it done and others were getting it done. They come on the court and they find a way to claw back into it, and they put themselves in a position to tie this game. They tied it. They could have potentially won it if it had gone to overtime, and LeBron James comes to the rescue to see that that is exactly what would not happen. This is what he does to the Toronto Raptors in a way he doesn't do it to any other team in the league. He might show greatness, he might put up great numbers, but against this particular team, he just demoralizes them. It's hard to imagine, but against them, he does it all the time.
Hard to imagine, but fun to watch, and glad we get to see it every night. DeRozan, by the way, 3 of 12, 8 points, a minus 23. Stephen A. Smith, thanks. I hope we get back to here later because I know you have some interesting thoughts on the coaching that was done there at the end of the game between the Philly 76ers and the Celtics. Thanks for your time now. LeBron James, the very latest buzzer beater. What does he think about it? What was on his mind? You'll hear LeBron live coming up on SportsCenter after another buzzer beater, the fifth career postseason buzzer beater of his career. 38 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. Paul Pierce is in New York City. And Paul, I have never seen a buzzer beater like that. I was like a dude at a carnival with one of those little basketballs, a Papa-Shot ball, going one way, bank shot high off the bank. What were you thinking? An interesting decision, too, Paul. They didn't take the ball at half court. They gave LeBron a running start.
Yeah, I just thought, it's tough for players when you're going to your left off one leg shooting it. It's kind of an awkward shot, but LeBron James, he's been nothing short of spectacular this whole postseason. It's almost like it's scripted. It's like, okay, LeBron James is going to come out here, score 40 points, 15 rebounds, you know what, Raptors, we're going to let it get close, and he's going to win it at the buzzer, which he's done more than once in this postseason. I mean, what more can you say about LeBron James and what he's done this whole postseason? I mean, he's had to step up like this for the lack of another superstar. You know, you have an all-star in Kevin Love. You have good role players, but he's taken his game to another level, which we didn't know he can do at this age.
38 points. We mentioned Kevin Love was good, 21 and 16. Kyle Korver was good, 18 points on 4 of 6 shooting from 3. Other than that, not a lot of help. What impresses you most about LeBron at age 33 doing this?
It just seems like he's perfecting the game. I mean, I'm seeing no weaknesses in this game. He's shooting the ball from the perimeter a lot better from 3. He's shooting it from the mid-range. We know what he can do in transition and on his drives. It just seems like his IQ gets better and better with age. He has a great understanding of the game. He understands the moment. And it's like nothing we've seen in quite a long time. And the question you got to ask is, how long can he keep this up? I mean, he's 33 years old. There's going to be a lot of records broken if he continues to play at this pace.
Yeah, you got to think he wants to get Kareem's record for most points in the league. And with as much money he spends on his body and technology and how he is able to revitalize himself, you got to think he has a shot at doing that.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. I'm curious, what's it like when you know you have the ball for the last shot? Because you were that guy for the Celtics. When you were going to get the ball, for you, it was usually a top-of-the-key jumper wet. But what's that like? And take us through that moment when LeBron has the ball and the ball's put in play.
Well, when you've already done it multiple times, you're very confident in those moments. You know what spot you want to get to. You just try to get the best shot possible. And for LeBron, this shot was so difficult, and we're saying that's the best shot possible he can get. I mean, the degree of difficulty on this shot, first off, you're going left, you're going off one leg, and you're throwing it off the glass. You know, for 99.9% of the players in the NBA, that's a prayer. But for LeBron James and his skill level, I wouldn't put anything past him.
I think he could be a player coach, Paul. I think he could be a player coach. He knows the game so well.
He could be anything he wants. Player, coach, owner. I mean, sky's the limit for LeBron.
Hey, Paul, thanks so much. Future Hall of Famer. Always enjoy your contributions to SportsCenter.
All right, thank you.
All right, we will hear from LeBron James. We will hear from Ty Lue, from all the principals in this game coming up on SportsCenter. At the moment, we're going to hear from Brian Windhorst because he was in the gym at the Q. Brian, it seems like he's a little quieter now, but what was it like when that thing went through the hoop?
We did it again. Well, it took a long time to clear this place out. Fans just didn't want to leave. When LeBron James does something special, even in a visiting arena, people don't want to leave, and that's what we saw tonight. There was a lot that went into this moment, a lot of factors. Number one, Ty Lue making a very big decision. I'm definitely going to want to talk to him about this after the game here. Not advancing the ball. They had the timeout that they called. They could have taken it to half court. It would have turned it into a half court 8-second situation. By not advancing the ball, it allows LeBron to get ahead of steam, which creates space, which set up the shot. Secondly, I thought LeBron had a lot more energy down the stretch of this game, and that is because he got some rest midway through. He got a long rest in the first half. He got a long rest at the end of the third quarter, and having extra energy, I think, made a difference for him down the stretch. And I want to say this about the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors followed the game plan here. They forced him left. OG Anunoby in absolute open space against LeBron. That's a death situation. He did what he's supposed to do. He didn't let him go to the basket. He forced him to LeBron's left, which is the weaker side, and LeBron just made a great shot. The same thing you're going to hear from the Raptors tonight is kind of what you heard after game 2. The Raptors want LeBron to take fadeaways from the mid-range. If he makes them, there's nothing he can do. He made a couple of big baskets again late in this game, taking a 3, making a fadeaway. Last shot, mid-range, going left. LeBron did what the Raptors want him to do. They just got beat by a better player. And for a third straight year, they're going to get beat by a better player and a better team because of it.
All right, Brian, stick there. We're going to go listen to the head coach, and perhaps he will address that situation coming out of the timeout and elect them to go to the 94 feet. Thank you, Brian Windhorst. Live on SportsCenter right now, media room. Here's Ty Lue, coach of the Cavaliers.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic, can you just walk us through the final play and the decision to take it out on the baseline and what you saw and what you wanted?
we ran it before. If you remember in Washington, I think Brian got a layup, but he missed it. He had a left-hand layup, but just wanted to get more space. I know if we try to inbound on the side, they try to take it away and condense the floor. I thought taking it full court, we could space the floor out, and we wanted C.J. Miles, man, just to come up at half court and just stay and let Brian come off and the whole floor would be open. But they tried to double team in the backcourt, but he still beat the double and got down and made a big shot for us.
Have you seen LeBron's demeanor change at all throughout this postseason, from the start until now?
Yeah.
How so?
I just think he has that edge. Every time we come to the playoffs, he always has that edge. And, starting the second round, I see it. I could see it. And, he's a special player. I mean, we all know that. And just run out of things to say that he does for us, is big. But, we got to be better down the stretch. They did junk the game up, and they tried all kind of things and had us off guard. So, Casey tried everything and put us in some dilemmas at times. We got to switch Kevin on to Kyle. They scored a little bit. But I thought we still hung in there. Just that last three at the end, we got to get matched up on a free throw. He made a big shot. He's from Missouri, so that's cool with me as long as we win the game. But, we got to be better. But anytime you win, in the playoffs, especially to go up 3-0, it's going to be tough. They fought, they scrapped, and, we was able to get the win, though.
Tyron Potesta, the Sports Animal 1390. In the last 5 minutes and 7 seconds of the first half, you guys limited Toronto to just 2 points. Is that the best stretch of defense this team has played all year or just in the postseason?
If not the best, it's up there. We really did a good job in that first half of just really locking in defensively. I think, once Casey went to the rotations, it kind of got us out of whack a little bit. They went small, and they was able to score the basketball. But, that's what it's all about. He made some adjustments, especially offensively, to score the basketball, to take away the blitz from DeRozan. And they was able to score a lot of points in that second half. So, we got to look at the film and be better, but we'll take it.
Joe Varden, Cleveland.com. You've won 2 of your last 3 home games in the playoffs like that, with the LeBron shot at the buzzer. Are you lucky, or are you building towards something maybe really big?
Lucky how?
To have to, to win on a shot like that, is that luck, or can you build towards something that maybe when the playoffs began, some of you guys didn't even see coming?
I mean, it's nothing. I mean, you just get the ball to Bron at the end of the game, and he's been producing for us all season, his whole career. So if the game is tied or the game's on the line, we got a great person to go to down the stretch. So I wouldn't say lucky. I think we execute. We do a good job of that. But winning the game 3, like you said, when a team is down 2-0, it's a tough game, and we know that. So we knew it was going to be tough. The 15-point lead at halftime, we wasn't comfortable with that because they knew they were going to keep fighting. And, LeBron made a big shot to win the game. So, lucky, no.
David Grenneman, ESPN. Ty, getting back to the last shot, just your vantage point, could you tell he was going glass? How did you react afterwards?
I just knew it went in. I just knew it went in. I didn't know how it was going, but they did a good job of trying to play it. But, we wanted the floor to be spaced. We wanted him to come downhill full speed because we know when he's coming full speed, no one can stop him, So that's what we were trying to create. And, he made a tough shot, to win the game.
How did you personally react on the sideline?
I just walked off.
Smile or fist bump or anything?
No.
Hi, Ray Jasky from ESPN 990. With all the good defense of the first 3 quarters, what went wrong in the fourth? 38 points for the Raptors. You can't be pleased with that, and certainly you got to put that behind you. But what didn't happen?
They played some lineups they haven't played all year. They were searching, and they found something that was good. And I think, Casey did a good job of just trying to put his team in position to score the basketball, being down 15 or 14 to start the fourth quarter. But I think what hurt us is, and it's partly my fault because we were switching Kevin on to Kyle Lowry, and he kind of got going. And, You know, we've done it in the past, switching him on to Darren Collison and guys like that. But Kyle got going, made a couple shots, got to the basket. So we'll clean that up. But, you know, partly my fault for trying to switch Kevin on to Kyle Lowry, and he kind of got going and kind of sparked that offensive momentum in the fourth quarter.
And if Lowry doesn't get going, or does, but DeRozan doesn't.
What an effort by LeBron James. Again, 38 points on 14 of 26 shooting. Once again, lots of those shots inside the paint, taking the ball to the rack. Free throw shooting has turned into be an asset for LeBron. 9 of 11 from the free throw line. Only tried 4 threes, made 1. But in the end, it was the shot heard around the basketball world tonight. LeBron's fadeaway one-handed bank shot. That might be, of all of his buzzer beaters, that might be the coolest one of them all. The land reacting to the shot. What a day it was in the NBA. A LeBron buzzer beater and a Celtic